inside. So wherever is the 3 here, that also you shift inside and you get 0.3. So you have got first you have got the end points C and F, and then we have got some extra points in between. Then we have got we have marked the points here 1, 2, 3. Then we have measured their distances along the two axes, and then located the point here. And after locating this point here, whatever amount the point has shifted inside, that much amount we have shifted the point inside here also. So once this is done, now the curve is ready, and you can join point C to F passing from all these points. So that becomes the revised shape from here to here. So the curvature what you wanted, that curvature when you shift it inside, this is where it is shifted. Okay. So once you do this much, we have done this for the outside circle. Same thing you have to repeat for the inside circle. Everything is same, you have to repeat. Once you do that, then you will find that all these points they go inside, and once that is done, then you will get a shape like this. It will be like this. Something like this. When you do all the construction work, you will get a shape like this. So we have shifted this plane here. So we have shifted this plane inside like this from this point. So as you can see here, earlier it was like this, and after cutting it has gone inside like this. Now remember, when you do this, this line which is there, the last line which is there, that is not going to be parallel to this. It is obviously not parallel, because this line is this line, and this line is this line. Is it parallel? This and this, is it parallel? No. It is not parallel. Obviously it will not be parallel. So here also, when you draw this line and this line, these two lines should not be parallel. They will not be parallel if you follow the correct procedure. Automatically it will not come as parallel lines. So that is how this part we are done on different side. Now same thing you have to do on the other side. Now here what you can do is, instead of following all the procedure here, what you can do is, you just go on measuring the distances which are available here, because you know C and D, this is the distance which is same as this distance. So if that is the case, then all the corresponding distances here for 2, for 1, for 3, so all these distances you can take from here and then shift them here, whatever are there, whatever distances you get from there, and then when you join, that will be the shape on the other side. So getting the shape from the other side is not so difficult. Only this part is more important. So once you do this, using these lines like this, you can draw the other side and complete the figure. Okay. So this is the part which is making this exercise as a part of advanced isometric exercise. Okay. So this was not done by you earlier. Earlier what was done was where the objects were drawn in such a way that their planes were isometric planes. Say for example, this is a plane, this plane which is there, this plane which is there, which is isometric plane. Here this is also isometric, this is also isometric. So the figures which we had drawn earlier, they were all isometric figures with the sides, everything in isometric planes. Whereas here, because of this inclined cutout which is given, this figure gets converted into something which is not same as what was done earlier. So that's why it is called as a isometric figure, rather advanced isometric figure, and this is the procedure that is involved for preparing this kind of a exercise. Okay. So make a good note of this exercise, then we will take the next one. But remember, whatever is done right now, exactly similar principle will be adopted for drawings which are having such kind of shape. Okay. So principally you have to remember what is done. So the figures may differ. You will be given exercises which could be not same as earlier. So there could be different exercises. But once you know the theory behind this, then any kind of exercise, even though it is not seen by you earlier, you should be able to draw this because you have understood the principle behind it, which is more important. So try to understand that by this figure, and then you will be able to draw any kind of figure. So after this, you can call this as first exercise, and after this we are going to solve some more exercises. So let's take the second exercise. So this is the exercise. There is an object like this, one view like this, the other view like this. Okay. So again all the dimensions are there with us, and right now I am not writing that, but then whenever you draw you will have all the dimensions, according to that you have to draw. Now look at this exercise, why this is becoming advanced kind of exercise. The reason is, if you notice, first of all you have to of course understand how the part is made up of. So first thing is visualize the part based on the information that is given here. So once you understand how the part is, then the next thing is how to draw it. And you will realize that this surface which is there, this entire surface, this surface is here, and this is the one which is inclined. That means you can imagine that there was a block like this, simple block like this, box, maybe say I will draw it here. So in this box, suppose this was not there, suppose this inclined is not there, then how it would have been? It would have been straight a cutout from here, like this. Something like this it would be, and then one more cutout here. So by making the dimension, you would have drawn this like this. If this is not advanced, that means if this inclination is not there. But now because of this inclination, what has happened is, this surface is cut again inside and it is inclined. So because of this surface up to here it is straight, and this in between part, all this middle part is inclined from both sides. So it has gone inside like this from both sides. So if that is the case, how do we draw? That is what is to be learnt here as an advanced exercise. Okay, I draw this initial box. Now, first we will draw the way it is drawn earlier, like this. So I am marking, let's say, these points A and B, which are here, A and B. Okay, and then maybe this as point C, as per the given details, as per the given dimensions. So C will come maybe somewhere here, and then we try to join this. Okay, maybe the same thing on the other side. And then this will be here. So something like this. Okay, we can do up to this much. Now the next thing is, we are going to find out this A is not going to be here, it is going inside. So this is, if I call this as AB, this is A dash. So this was A dash, B dash. Now this A is not here, A is here. So A has gone inside by this much amount. So measure this distance and mark it here. So this A is here. This is the position of A. Same thing on the other side, there are similar things. So there is A dash, B dash here and A is here. So same thing on the other side also, you will find that A has come down like this. Same thing, B has also gone here. And after this is done, now you can draw this inclined surface. So from this point to this point, if I join, this is the inclined surface. Same thing here also, but here it will not be seen. It will be here. It will be like dotted. It will not seen. So we are on the inclined surface. What happens to C? C was here and C has shifted inside. Like this A and B, they are shifted by this much. This is C shifted by this much. C dash. So now we are going to shift C inside by this amount along this line. So wherever it is, this is C, and when you join, this is how it will be. Now when you draw, you will draw with actual dimensions. The shape will come different. I am not drawing with any actual dimensions. So the way it is seen here and the way you will draw it, there will be a difference. So you draw as per the procedure. Whatever shape comes, whatever lines come, they are correct. Okay, I am not drawing with scale, so it is seen like this. So I have shown you the inclined plane. So this inclined plane, what I have shown by dots, these dots, this is the inclined plane. Okay, same thing here also. This will come maybe something like this. This will be here, like this, and then what is remaining is only this line. So this line what I have drawn just now is this. So this is this. Okay, so we are on the inclined surface, and this is the flat surface, which is this flat surface, which is here. Okay. What will happen here? Here it will be a straight line. That is this surface. Okay. Now there is one more cut here. Now this cut is here, but that is also going inside. That means if this was not inside, then this cut would have been on this plane. So whatever dimensions are given, with that dimension, first thing is you should be able to draw this shape. So I have drawn this shape where it was not cut. That means I have drawn, right now I have drawn here. So whatever is drawn here is what is present here on this surface. But in actual practice it is inside. So now what we have to do is, same way, all these points you have to take inside by this much amount. So this point is going inside by this much. This point is also going to go inside by this much. But these points are going to remain there only. So what we do is, from this figure you find out how much is this distance, and that distance you shift inside both sides, and now that is going to be where you are going to join this point. So instead of join like this, I am going to join like this. Same thing, you have to join like this and then join like this. So whichever way the figure comes, accordingly you have to draw. So this is the line which you have to retain, and this is something which will be there only as a construction line. So this will be light and this is final. What is drawn here is a final line. So when you draw, it will come proper, which will be in this plane. Now of course you don't have to forget this line. This has to be always there. This is the inside edge, the edge here. That edge is here, which you will draw. So that is the way this particular problem you have to complete. Rest everything is quite simple, but the problem will come like this. There will be an edge here also. There will be one more edge here also. Like this. So try to understand what is done. Once you understand, once you put your mind here and try to understand how it is to be done, then it is not so difficult. Okay, so follow the procedure. Only what you have to remember is the plane is taken inside and you have to take the distances of corresponding points inside by the required amount. So accordingly this plane is taken inside and the figure is drawn. Okay, so make a good note of this and we will take up another exercise. Now let's take the next problem. So this is an hexagonal prism it is, and this hexagonal prism you have to draw in isometric, but one more thing is there, at this point it is cut. It is cut, so that means it is not there. So this is the shape of the hexagonal prism which is cut. Now how do we draw this? First thing is you have to enclose this in a box. Okay, I have not drawn properly, it should be here. Okay, so let's first enclose this in a box like this, and then let us try to draw this box first. So that is easy, we have to draw this. So this basic box is drawn. Now if I mark these points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, then you have to mark these points correspondingly here. This is the front point O. So 6 will come here, 5 and 4 according to that. See, this we have drawn whatever distance, suppose this is x and y, then it is taken like this, x, and here it is taken y. So we have first drawn the box, and now on this x you have to take 6 at the middle, on y you have to take 5 and 4, so whatever is the distance from here and here, so this distance you have to measure and mark 0.5, and here we have to mark 0.4 by suitable distance. Same thing, there is 3 at the middle, and then 1 and 2 somewhere here, so that you can join them So this hexagon is drawn here in isometric. You can also see how the hexagon is drawn in isometric in the process. And then when you draw the vertical lines, then the necessary prism becomes ready. Now this 2 is okay. So this hexagonal prism we have drawn, and up till here it is not advanced problem. It is just a simple problem. Maybe to some extent this drawing hexagon could have been slightly new for you compared to the last time. So you can call this as a part of slightly advanced exercise. But the next thing comes when it is cut like this. So when you cut like this, You have to cut like this. How do you draw this? That is important now. Now this cutting point is here. So you can see 6 is here, 5, 4, 3 is here, and then 2, 1. So they are the initial points. Now when you cut, this additional point come here, A. So where is A? You have to mark now. So when you project, you will find this is the place from where the cut starts. So you have to identify where is this line here. So for that, what you do is you measure this distance here. Whatever is this distance suppose I call it as small a. The small a distance you have to take here. Small a. Okay. Then draw a line along this, and then that will give you the line from where it is cut. So if I call this line as L, this line L, then that line L will be this, which we have obtained by making use of this small a. So now the inclined plane starts from here, and when you see here, it is cutting to this line at 5 at this place. So where do you draw this point? Suppose I call this point as B. Then where is this point B? B's point is on line 5, and it is down by this much amount. So if I call this as B, then you have to come down from here by B, and that is going to give you this point B. Same thing on the other side. So you can come down by the same distance to point B. Then there is point C here.